The heavyweights, Alexandr Romanov is back. Minus 125 for Romanov, plus 125 for Blagoy. Ivanov, over under 1.5 rounds, minus 175 for the over, plus 175 for the under. The man, Alexandr Romanov. What version of Alexandr Romanov are we going to get? Because the good version is pretty dang good. The bad version is horrendous. And he's coming in 3-2 in his last 5 on a 2-fight losing streak against Blagoy Ivanov, who's on a little bit of a losing, I guess, over his last 5. He's lost 3 of his last 5. So, yeah, he looks so much older than he really is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really not too old. I mean, 36 years old compared to 32 years old for Romanov. I would think Romanov looks a lot younger. But only 4 years in age difference. And the line isn't too wide. So we're looking at this one for Romanov. Obviously, he wants to get the takedowns, but Blagoy is a tough man to take down. I mean, he's been he's got that combat sambo background, and he doesn't really get taken down too much. 70% takedown defense. He just fought Tabura, who looked to take him down, and he landed his one takedown that he looked for. But when he did get him down, he held him there. That was the 3rd round. Kind of gassed out Blagoy and just kind of wore on him in that last round to secure the win. But I don't see Romanov having that kind of gas tank when we get to round 3. So, yeah, this one's tough because I see that number on Romanov, minus 125. And that's like not really a number that we've really been getting on him because he's been a pretty big favorite in his fights before the Volkov fight. Big favorite against Tabura, minus 360. Huge favorite against Chase Sherman, minus 2,200. And I mean, he was undefeated. A couple bad losses. I don't know. I struggle to not see any value on that number, like minus 125 against Blagoy, considering how highly touted he was coming up the ranks. What are you thinking, though?
Yeah, this is a fight. If you're betting on it, you have to wait till weigh-ins to place a bet. In my opinion, you just have to. I mean, because the picture that we have on our slide, that is not the Alexandr Romanov we've seen in the last 2 fights. I mean, that one in our picture is jacked. The one we've seen is not. He looked so good against the Chase Shermans and Jared Vanderas. And, 16-0 a year ago, and now he's 16-2. And in those 2 losses, he looks like one of the worst heavyweights in the division, at least after it goes past, 2.5 minutes of the first round. He's a great fighter if he can get to the fight to the ground early. Like, he dominates guys. But if he can't, he gasses. I was counting down, and I was doing a video with him against Alexander Volkov, and I looked at the clock when it looked like Romanov started to get tired, and it was 55 seconds into the first round is when his mouth was open. He was heavy breathing, and he took one shot from Volkov and then just dropped down real lazily onto a leg and tried to get a takedown and was unsuccessful. Volkov just got on top and beat his ass until he covered up, and that was the end of the fight. So yeah, here Blagoy's not really going to come after him and knock him out on the feet or anything. He's not probably going to take him down and submit him. But Blagoy, he's tough. He does go to decision most times. So, he can at least fight for 2 rounds at least. He might be tired in the 3rd and just hanging on, but at least he can get to decision. If this fight goes to decision, it's got to be Blagoy. I don't see any other way that Alexandr Romanov has the gas tank to win a decision against anybody at this point. So, yeah, you would think minus 125 is good value, but watching his last few fights, if he comes in on the scales and he looks out of shape again, I think you have to hammer Ivanov if he's still plus money. I could see that line flipping really, really quick, though, on Friday morning after the weigh-ins. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm thinking about playing this Alexandr Romanov round 1 submission, and if it goes past round 1, live betting the hell out of Blagoy Ivanov.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed it on the head. You got to wait to see what he looks like because he looked really good at one point. I think that was the fight that he actually still lost against Marcin Tabura. I mean, he looked like he was on the sauce because he looked lean, he looked strong, and then he comes back against Volkov and looks like he played video games in his mom's basement for the past like 3 months and just ate Cheetos and didn't care about any fight, and it
I'm
showed.
pretty sure he did. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that he claimed he didn't really train for that last fight.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It really did show because he looked like he gained like 30 pounds and like didn't work out for the past 3 months. And it was a bad look because I mean you could say he gassed out at 55 seconds, but it looked like he just gave up. It looked like he couldn't get the takedown, and he's like, "Well, shit, I'm done. Like I'm just gonna get out of here before I take too much damage." And what's his path to victory here for Romanov against Blagoy is like he's an early finisher. He wants to get you out of there pretty quick. And Blagoy is a tough out. Like he's never been finished in the first round. He's only been subbed. He's only been finished once, and it was in the second round, and then he got submitted. But yeah, this is a tough one to like get a good read on because you don't know what Romanov you're going to get. And can he finish Blagoy early? Because Blagoy doesn't really get finished. So, yeah, maybe a better live betting spot if he can survive that onslaught in the first round for Blagoy. Maybe you look for round 2 or round 3 finish, maybe pretty juicy there. Otherwise, a Blagoy by decision. But, yeah, look to see what version you're going to get from Romanov before you put money on him. And, yeah, just keep in mind that after the first round, he could fall off a cliff. But yeah, it's the Apex, so it's going to be a smaller cage. Probably favors Romanov if he wants to get those takedowns. He's never lost at the Apex, I don't believe, because his only 2 losses are at the Virgin Hotels and at in Utah, which was at Elevation. So maybe something to get behind there for Romanov. But for the sake of the show, I'm gonna go with Romanov. I'm gonna say he didn't play video games in his mom's basement for the past 3 months. So
I'll go with Ivanov here, and I mean he's got us. He could there's a world where he's 5-1 in his last 6 fights. He loses a split decision to Derek Lewis and then Augusta Sakai, both by split. Took Derek Lewis down 3 times. He beat Tai Tuivasa. He beat Marcus Rogerio de Lima. So I mean he's fought some decent guys. He doesn't finish anybody. And at the heavyweight division, I feel like you have to finish guys or you're going to get finished at some point. But, dude, I'm actually excited for this fight just to see what Romanov looks like.
I am too. This is like the sleeper. It probably won't be that exciting, but it's just exciting to see like how it plays out. So
I don't think I'll ever say I'm excited for a Blagoy Ivanov fight ever again, but this one time I am.
Yeah.